Here we go.
Hello, listeners. This is Lori, Ann, and Angie of the Unapologetically Unstoppable Women podcast. And we are excited to have you here with us today to talk about such a relevant topic, and that is reinventing ourselves at a certain age. And Anne has some really great examples of women who really reinvented themselves at some interesting ages. Do you mind sharing those, Anne?
Nope, not at all. Thank you. So I put a post up on LinkedIn last week, and it started with, it didn't happen in my 20s. It didn't happen in my 30s. It didn't happen in my 40s. Well, it started to happen in my 40s. I leaned into it in my 50s, and it is the figuring out who I was and knowing what I was capable of achieving.
That's huge. And
Huge.
we're gonna
So that
hit
has happened to me in my 50s.
yeah. And
Yeah.
just
And
FYI, Ann might
so
freeze on
some
occasion because they have
examples,
big storms out there. So
sorry guys,
that's
technical
all right.
issues. So
Do we want to
some
start
examples
forward?
were, and next, I don't.
Nope.
She's
Anne is definitely experiencing some storms in her area, but like one of the examples was Martha Stewart. Starting Martha Stewart Living when she was 50. Another woman ran her first marathon when she was 86. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was in her late 70s, and and the list just goes on of women who have reinvented themselves um later in life. And so I am curious what let's see. Oh, Laura Ingalls Wilder is someone
yeah.
who wrote her first book at 65. Um, yeah, and then the inventor of instant ramen, she was 48 whenever she did that. Who knew, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
so, listeners, I don't know about you, but they're when we're in our 20s and 30s and maybe even 40s, maybe even 50s, we're still kind of trying to figure it out, like who are we? What do we want to do? And
Mhm.
that type of thing. But I don't know, ladies, what
And-
thoughts do you have on this?
Well, and I'm part of the On Purpose Woman Global community, and that was started by Jenny Robertson, and she was in her 60s. And it is a thriving female women-centered network. There's so many opportunities that she offers, so many meetings, in person, online. She has like your first 100 days, helping you to set not boundaries. I have boundaries in my head now. Um, uh, get things done essentially. So set what you want to have done after, in your life. And a lot of people after doing that have realized that they want to make a transition, that
Yeah.
what they're doing right now is not serving them. It's not exciting them like something else would.
Yeah.
And I personally started my business. I left corporate America when I was 60 and started my business. And this is how I met you, amazing ladies. And so it's never too late.
Yes. Yes.
And when you're loving what you do, you feel a lot younger. We were just
Mhm.
talking before we started recording that I don't feel like I'm in my 60s. I feel like I'm in my 40s. Now, not when I get out of my chair after sitting for 3 hours, but I do. I mean, in my body, I feel young because
Yes.
I'm doing what I love.
Yes. And are you able to chime in?
Yeah, as long as I don't freeze. So I think the biggest thing is if you have an idea you've been waiting for, like do it. It's never too late. So
Yes.
I am 56 and have just published my first book, a children's book, and I don't even have kids at home. Who knew? But, and it's something that just got this idea and I'm like, let's try it and see. And then went through the process and it's been amazing. So just
Yeah.
Yeah.
take those ideas that you thought, oh, it's not good enough, nobody's going to care. No, do it because you never know what effect you're going to have on somebody else.
Yes. And when you are doing something for you that lights you up,
Oh,
you are doing something for others. I mean,
yes.
I could see your excitement. I mean, you just started glowing when you
Yes.
talked about it, right?
100%.
I love
Yeah.
talking about my book. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I birthed a
Yes.
little baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of square, but whatever.
Uh, it's yes. And the thing of it is we can all have that. We can all experience those things because although I don't know, speaking to the listeners, I don't know you personally, many of you, but some of you I do know. And, is there something looming in the back where you thought, oh, I've always wanted to try that, or I've always wondered what that was like? And I can confidently, collectively say, we're going to cheer you on and say, do it, and
Absolutely.
if you need some support or guidance or whatever you need a cheerleader along the way, put that in the chat so that we can support you and celebrate with you, and let us know what you are diving into, and if we can be of any help, even if it's just to cheer you on, to celebrate the wins with you, we would
Mhm.
love the opportunity to be able to do that, because it's never too late. As long
Exactly.
as you have drive, like drive in your belly, that your heart's still beating and you're still breathing and you have ideas in your mind, then it's not too late. And
Yeah.
if you're like, well, I don't know how to get started, well, let us know. And if we don't know how to help you get started, we can point you in the right direction, because we
Right.
have a vast network of people that we can connect you with that can help you get started on whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And the other thing is, I know I've worked with women who I know that you feel like you don't have a choice. You always have a choice. But the
Mhm.
choice right now may not be to quit your job and start your business. There are things that go on that are keeping you from doing that, and that's totally understandable. But
Mhm.
don't give up on it.
Right.
You can always, I just wrote a chapter for my book called on personal growth.
Ooh.
So whatever that passion is, that's like just crying to be let out, do that in your spare time, even if it's just for 10 minutes. If
Mhm.
it lights you up, do it. And the more it lights you up and you do it, the the better you're going to be as a human being. And I believe in manifestation. So eventually, when the time is right, I believe it will start, more and more of that will come to you.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think too, it's really easy. We go to school to get this degree. I have a biology degree. I was going to be a veterinarian. Life didn't allow that to happen. So now I'm this not veterinarian with this biology degree trying to figure out what I'm going to be. And I think in a lot of cases that can slow us down in life because now we have to go, okay, well, I just spent all this time and money to get this degree I can't use the way I want to use it. So what am I going to do? And you do have to reinvent yourself. And it is a reinvention going from a girl who was going to be a veterinarian to a leadership coach, now author. The paths definitely diverged. There's no consistency there.
And Anne, that was a perfect, that's your passion. Animals are your passion. Tell
Yeah.
us how many animals you have, if you are willing.
I have only have 10, and I say only because I think when the kids were home at one point we had like 22 in the house. We've never had
Oh,
outdoor animals. But I've got 3 parrots, 2 dogs, and 5 cats. And I would have more because I feel
yes.
like it's my job to take care of what other people irresponsibly put into the world and don't take care of. But
Yeah.
Your passion, you do it. You don't have to do it to make money. You
Right.
don't have to do it to make money.
now it just costs me
I love
money
that. Now
a
that's
lot.
right. Now you
So
have to
yeah,
work in order to continue your zoo at home.
that's right. And needs her business so that she can support her fur babies.
That's
Yeah.
right. This is definitely a passion of mine. So yeah, using my biology degree slightly differently.
Yep, absolutely. And I have friends who, they went to college and they got their degree and they're working in their respective fields and they're miserable. And the reason that they got the degree they were in is because their parents told them that that's what they were supposed to do, or they tested a certain way on a specific test, and they're like, oh, that's the field of work that you need to enter into because that's where your genius lies. And they're miserable, and they're in their 50s going, who I don't know who I am. Everyone has always told me who I am. And listeners, I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that, if someone's told you like who you are, and then whenever you do some reflection and introspection, you're like, oh, who am I? I don't know who I am without someone telling me. It's like when you have children, your children tell you who you are, your mom, right? And when like that type of, and that's a good thing. But on the flip side, it's like, but where's the person in there, the woman in there, who's so much more, and has so much more to offer and has so much passion and desire and drive and thoughts and ideas, and inspiration and all the other things that are just kind of waiting to come out. But it's like, how, how do I do that? It doesn't,
Thanks.
it's not a natural combination like Anne's biology degree and her leadership coaching and children's authorship. It's not a natural combination, but look how beautifully it's working, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Lori, you were going to share something.
Oh, I was just, I think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but growing up, my mom was very religious. I was the youngest of five, and I was my mother's last chance for somebody to go into being a nun or a priest. And so she formed me from the beginning that I was going to be a nun. She wanted me to be a nun. I didn't want to disappoint my mother. So, yes, I was going to be a nun until I found out that nuns don't kiss boys. And then I'm like, I am out of here.
You know why they're called nuns? Because they
Because they
get
get
none.
none.
That's exactly why.
I love it.
I'm going to hell for that one, but I'll be in good company.
No.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no. Yep. And yeah, so many times, I mean, I conversely, my dad, he fostered a little demon child that,
Was that you?
maybe that, who has no limits, is unstoppable. I can do anything that I want except wiggle my toes. I can't do that. But that's a whole other story. Jeanette, well, it's because of surgeries, but, but they're like, if I put my mind to it, um, I'll try anything. And I'm a high risk taker. And I'll jump without even looking. I don't care if there's a net, I'm like, well, I'll land eventually. It's either going to be on my feet or on my back. Well, maybe I better not say that. Maybe on my head, who knows? But I'll figure it out on the way down. And but so not everyone sits in the space that I sit in, because honestly, I view it as um, I don't want to say a luxury, but for some reason that's the only word that's come into my mind. But I really think my dad, he was just a man before his time, raising a girl in the 70s, to teach me to be all that I am. And I think we've talked on the show before about how many women, they say, who are you? And they automatically go with, well, I'm a mom, I'm an aunt, I'm whatever profession that I'm in. when really you are just so much more than that.
Yeah.
And and you um yeah, you're just so much more than that, but it's hard sometimes to put that into words. And yeah, and it can be challenging to sit down and look and say, strip away those labels, because those are labels. That's not who you
Yes.
are. It's like,
Yes.
well, then who am I? And
Well, as young kids, we're being told at 17, 18, what do you want to be for the rest of your life? And
Right.
yes,
you're
Right.
pushed into some direction.
yep,
Your brain isn't even fully developed, and you're having to make decisions that will affect the rest of your life.
right,
Mhm. Yes.
yes,
I I was blessed because yes, I was asked, what do you want to be? Let's see, when I was younger, my first thing is I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write books. I'm finally doing that, writing a book. I wanted to be an accountant. I don't know why. I wanted to be an architect. I think that was because of the Brady Bunch.
oh,
Uh, so I had no idea. And like you're saying, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. And when I still didn't know when I graduated high school.
uh,
Mom and dad wanted me to go to college, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I waited tables to make money in high school and college. Um, but my friends, they all went for computer science.
mm,
And I was like, all right, it's time for me to go to college. I'll just do that. And I was blessed that I loved it. I mean, I really loved it. And that's what that was my career, and I was very successful and happy in it. But I can't imagine if I well, actually, when I did take an accounting class in college, I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going to become an accountant. This is just boring. Now, if I would have gotten into creative accounting,
then you might be in prison.
true, that's true.
So how do we boil all this down for our listeners? How do we give them, but give them three really quick takeaways that if you think this, do this, something along those lines?
I, I would say first and foremost, from, just how do you feel about your job? How do you feel about what you do for a living? When you get up in the morning to go to work, whatever that work is, how do you feel about it? Do you feel drained? Are you doing it just for the money? Or are you loving at least part of it? Nobody's going to love everything about their job, but you should love or appreciate or value part of it. And if you don't, it's time to start asking yourself a few questions about what would you do if you could do anything?
Yes, yes. And I would say definitely sit down and really think about what have you always wanted to do, and don't, like for me, I always wanted to be an astronaut. And
Hmm.
even though I get motion sickness really easily, so that wouldn't be an option. But in a lot of ways, I am an astronaut because I'm going far beyond, and I'm going to places um, in my business. I explore places that have never been explored before and different things. So in a lot of ways, I have that astronaut mentality, even though I'm not a traditional astronaut that's getting, I don't work for NASA or anything like that. So what are those things that you've always wanted to do? Even think back as a little kid. What did you want to do as a kid? What were some of the fun things, and really start making a list of those things, and see, is there a class you can take, or is there a hobby that you can take up, or something like that, and just see what lights you up and brings you joy. And there just little things like that that you can do that just can make such a big difference on your life. What
Well, and I think that goes to, so I often hear people say, I don't know how. I don't know how to change what I'm doing. I don't know how to change my direction. So, what would you do if you did know how?
Yeah.
What would you
Yes.
start doing if you did know what you were supposed to be doing? And
Mm-hmm.
when you reframe it like that, it's like at least it gets you moving because I
Yes,
don't know how is glue that's going to keep you stuck.
absolutely.
Right,
So start thinking,
right.
but if I did know how, maybe I would try this and maybe I would try this. So maybe try the thing that will
Mhm.
then show you how.
Yes,
And start with one step at a time.
yes.
When you look at, oh my gosh, if I change careers now, I do want to be a pharmacist and it's going to take me 10 years going to night school and one step at a time.
One step at a, yes, absolutely. And like I said earlier in the podcast, if you need a resource, you need a cheerleader, you want support, you have questions, let us know. We will be glad
Yeah.
to, if we can't help ourselves, we're going to get you pointed in the right direction because we all have vast networks that we can tap into because
Mhm.
there's we're just trying to offer ways for you to find out more about who you are when
Mhm.
you strip back all of the labels, bring you joy into your life, and have some fun. And it doesn't matter, if, like the lady who ran her first marathon at 86, she had to train for that, right? And so did she start at 80? I mean, I'm not sure what her story is, but even if, let's just say she started at 80 training and it took her 6 years to run her first marathon, can you imagine? That's
Mhm.
amazing. And those are the types of things that you can experience too. And just because you start training today, who says you have to run your first marathon next week, right? And if it
Right.
takes you 6 years to train to get to that marathon, it's beautiful. The
Mhm.
process of getting there and the process of developing the skills and enjoying the process is all part of it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Laura Ingalls Wilder, who wrote her first book at 65, if you guys aren't familiar with the name, that was Little House on the Prairie. Not
Mm-hmm.
only were her books successful, but it became a show on TV, a very
Yes,
popular show on TV.
one of my
So
favorites.
one thing at a time. You might not be saying, hey, I want to write something so good that it's going to be a show on TV, a series on TV. Maybe it's just I want to write. I
Yes.
want to write. I have stories in my head. I want to put them on paper. Do it.
Yes,
Do it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't let that little you know, I can't or I don't know how, like Anne said. Flick that right off
It-
your
Yep,
shoulder.
yep, yep. And the fear of what will people think. I tell you, throughout my career, I've always said I wanted to write, and that so many people would say, "Well, you're not an English major. You can't write. You can't write a book." I can't tell you how many people told me I can't write a book. So I stopped telling people I want to write a book.
Oh, hmm.
So don't be me.
And
But you
now,
can talk to me anytime because that's what I do is I guide women who are in these periods of transition of not knowing what they want to do. And there's always something comes up, and it doesn't have to be a career change. It may just be a hobby change
yeah,
or a lifestyle change. It doesn't have to be major. Little things can make huge impact, huge
yes,
And
positive impact.
I think all three of us know the passion and excitement that come like, when I get to talk about my book and I get to
oh,
talk about what I do and like the impact I want my book to have. I do want it to
Mhm.
be a TV show. Like I have all these
yes,
huge ideas.
Yeah,
The passion that comes with this thing I sat down and did one day, um, it's
there's
just
no.
beautiful.
Yeah, well, and it's hard to explain, but once you experience it, it's, I mean, it's kind of like an orgasm. It's kind of hard to explain, but once you experience it, right?
and you want it again and again. You
And
want
you
to do
want
it
it
again
again
and
and again.
again.
So,
All right, this is a family show.
Okay.
I mean,
Rated R, rated R.
And on that
Yes.
note,
and on that note, I want to say good night, John Boy.
Good night, Marianne. That one of them? I don't
that's from
know.
Gilligan's Island.
Oh, okay. Well, she was my favorite. I liked her better than Ginger.
Yeah, same.
All right, so the takeaways just do something, have a plan. Maybe you can't implement it right now, but have a plan. Figure out what excites you
Yeah.
and learn how to get there. Get
Yep.
help, collaborate. That is the best,
Yes.
fastest way.
Yes.
Collaborate with someone else who is doing it
Yep.
or someone who can
That's
help
very
bring you
good.
along because that if you don't know how, someone else showing you, you
Yep.
may want not want to do it exactly their way, but it's a place to start.
Yeah.
So everybody's got
What
this. We want to hear your ideas. What's
exactly.
stopping
Put
you?
them in the chat. Put them in the chat, and yeah, let us know. And what was I gonna ask us? As Angie was saying the whole time, put your questions in the comments, and we will be watching them.
Yes, definitely. All right, listeners, until next time, this is the Unapologetically Unstoppable Women podcast. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.